Hey guys, today we are in Logic for this tutorial, and I want to show you an alternative method to sidechaining a bass to a kick drum. So first I'll show you the normal method in case you don't know how to set that up. Let's say we have a bass. I'm gonna copy this channel for now. Copy it down there. So this is our bass sound. And it contains quite a lot of low frequencies, and it should because it is a bass, but our kick also has a lot of low frequencies, and this is the kick. So together they can get a little bit in each other's way, and in order to solve that, a traditional method is to use sidechaining. So we can set up a Synth on the kick channel, and let's send it to bus 22 right now. Just choose an empty bus and then send the full amount. So now it's coming in this bus 22, which is called aux 23, which is a bit confusing, but believe me, it is still bus 22. But we don't want to hear that kick, so we're gonna set the stereo out to no output, because otherwise I'm just gonna double the kick and it's gonna get 6 dB louder, and I don't want that. So I send it to bus 22 and give it no output, so nothing on the kick sound has changed. This is with Synth and this is without. And then the next step is to go to your bass channel and you choose a compressor. I can choose the Logic compressor, and then here at the top where it says sidechain, you're gonna choose that bus, which was 22, and we're gonna set the ratio. Now you can see on the gain reduction that it's giving a signal when the kick is coming in. And now you can hear that the bass will duck every time a kick drum hits. And I can show you a little bit better how this works in a more visual compressor. So I'm going to choose the compressor in Isotopes Alloy, and we're going to do the same thing where we choose that bus 22 and we go to the dynamics and we set it to receive sidechain, and we give it sort of a ratio, let's say 4:1. And now we can see here that our kick is coming in, and we can drag this slider down, and once it's past that slider it will start to compress or duck down the signal. And now you can clearly hear it ducking on every kick, and this ducking is gonna make sure that our bass has more room to breathe, because every time a kick hits, the bass just gets out of the way for a little bit. You can see how much dB it's getting out of the way at the bottom here. So this is 9 dB, which is quite a lot, but you can also use this in a more subtle manner. And then we need to set the attack time, and this sets how fast the ducking is going on. So when it receives a kick drum, now I want it to be all the way down at 3 milliseconds. And then I set the release, which is even more important to get a good groove, and this is how long it will take the compressor to reset again and show us the full bass sound. And you can hear the release a lot better when you set the threshold a little bit lower, because now it's easier to hear where it should fit in the groove. Especially if you set your metronome. So I think I would go for something like that. And then a lot more subtle, just 3 or 4 dBs. So that is one way to use sidechaining. But another method that I've been experimenting with is actually, instead of ducking the sound with the compressor, making it go away manually. So I have that same bass sound here, but then I've cut it up in little pieces, and I set my marker here, and I just looped wherever there was a kick. I set my play marker at the beginning of the kick, and then go down to the bass sound, and then cut it there, and then make these fades. And these white lines that you see are just fade in and fade outs of that audio region. So I did a fade out of 25 milliseconds with a curve of 2, and the curve, that is how concave or convex it is. I can make it 10 or 1. You can see the curve changing there. So I set that to 2, and then the fade out is 25 milliseconds, and the fade in again after the kick is 120. So after the kick has hit, it's gonna take 120 milliseconds to rise again. And this effect it's a lot more extreme than sidechaining, because you're basically taking away all the signal in the sound, because here at the very middle there's no signal at all. So it's maximum sidechaining, but it gives for a cool effect, and it sounds very clear, and you can definitely hear the difference between this and sidechaining. And I think in a lot of cases this is too extreme, but in some cases where you really want to emphasize the groove, it can be something to try. And if you set up your kick on the transients or on the bars of the beat, like if it would be here, it would be a lot easier to set up. If you have them all sort of flying around in the project, not landing on any of these bars, it's gonna be a little bit more time consuming to set up. But it's worth a try if you're searching for a cool groove. So together that sounds like this. And so the last bar, I didn't do that, just to sort of tell the listener that this is the end of a phrase where something different is happening. So then, in context of the track, so I hope you enjoyed that and that you get something out of the video. If you still have questions, please let me know, and I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. Thanks.